Hello and welcome to today's edition of Daf Yomi, doing Tractate Masechet 14 of Nazir, and I'm going to read some key content from the study point guide using, I think I use ChatGPT for this, or Claude, I can't remember which one now. And Nazir, the person who takes upon themselves vows abstinence, primarily from wine and grape products, cutting their hair, and contact with the dead. Terms of Nazir. Nazir can declare Nazir for a specific term, e.g. 30 days, 100 days, or permanently. Interruption of Nazir. The sources discuss various scenarios where Nazir's term might be interrupted, such as the birth of a son, becoming tamei ritually impure, or contracting suras, a skin affliction often related to leprosy. Impact of tumor. Becoming tamei ritually impure during a Nazir's term can have different consequences depending on the circumstances. In some cases, it can nullify the days already observed, requiring the Nazir to restart the count. Hair growth. A Nazir is prohibited from cutting their hair during their term. If the hair is cut, they must wait for 30 days of hair growth before completing their Nazir. Conditional Nazir. A person can declare a Nazir with a condition. However, if the condition contradicts the laws of Nazir, e.g. I'm a Nazir on the condition that I may drink wine, the condition is void and the Nazir is still binding. Nazir for a son. A person can declare a Nazir contingent on having a son. If a son is born, the Nazir takes effect. Shaving a Nazir. At the end of the Nazir's term, they must shave their head and bring certain offerings to the temple. Machlokas disputed. Sources present several Machlokas disputes between different rabbis regarding the laws of Nazir, such as whether a person becomes tamei during their son's Nazir term forfeits their own Nazir term or not. Simonim mnemonic devices. Source uses creative simonim mnemonic devices such as the hairy juggler to help remember the different cases and rulings discussed. So that was the basic concept introduction. So let's dive straight into the text. If you say that when he accepts Nazirship upon himself after 20 days, and then vows a short term of Naziriteship, so what's the footnote? If one says, I'm here by Nazirite after 20 days, and a Nazirite from now, he observes a term of Naziriteship for 30 days and shaves, and then under the second term of 30 days for the Naziriteship that he was to commence after 20 days. This is because if he counts 20 and stops for the second term of Naziriteship, only 10 days would remain for the completion of his first term, and there must be at least 30 days between each shaving. And that's the Ram Sefer Hilchot Nazirut 470 and the Kesef Mishnah there. 30 days starting now. And since if he pauses it from his first term of Nazirite after 20 days, there's only 10 days that are left to complete after the second term of Naziriteship. Those 10 should not be reckoned for him to be a complete full term of Naziriteship. 10 days are insufficient for hair growth. Therefore, he must observe a full 30-day term of Naziriteship after the second term of Naziriteship, which means that he is not a Nazirite for the first 20 days. With that assumption in mind, the question arose, certainly if he vows to be Nazirite for 100 days, since he has a further 80 days at the end, which is sufficient for his hair to grow, do the first 20 days count for him as part of the 100 days or not? The inquiry leads to yet another question. And if you say that the first days of Nazirship take effect, at this point, the Gemara expands Rab's question. Even if the previous problem is resolved by saying that the term of Nazirship that cannot be completed before the second term of Nazirship starts should nevertheless commence at once, it's possible that this is so only because both terms of Nazirship are of limited duration. Moreover, since they can be completed consecutively, the first one takes immediate effect. If, however, once the term of Nazirship is unlimited, this means that once he begins the second term of Nazirship can never take effect. Even if it could take effect, he cannot shave at its conclusion. That's from the Beinah Peretz. The Rosh explains that when there are two terms of Nazirship that last for a specific period of time, neither of them is viewed as an interruption of the other, whereas a permanent Nazirship represents an entirely different category. And the term of Nazirship will be completed in the 80 days after the second term of Nazirship. Then if he said, I'm hereby Nazirite after 20 days, if one said, I'm hereby Nazirite after 20 days, and then said, I'm a permanent Nazirite from now, the Nazirship of his first vow does not take effect. And that's from the Rambam Sefer Hilchot Nazirut 4.8 in the Kesef Mishnah there. And from now I'm a permanent Nazirite. What is halacha? Does a permanent Nazirite take effect for him during those 20 days or not? Since permanent Nazirship is unlimited, he could not have intended to complete its days after the second term of Nazirship, and it is reasonable to assume that he intended for the permanent Nazirship to begin after the second term of Nazirship has been completed. If you say here with regard to cases of a standard permanent Nazirship after 20 days, since it is possible to request of an halacha authority to dissolve the vow, which would result in the first of Nazirship taking full effect, it therefore takes effect during those 20 days. Then the following question arises: if one said, "I'm hereby a Nazirite like Samson," Hareini Nazir Shimshon v'chulu. If one said, "I'm hereby a Nazirite like Samson" after 20 days, and subsequently said, "I'm hereby a Nazirite from now," he does not shave at the completion of the term of Nazirship observed due to his second vow, as he is then like a Nazirite of Samson. And that's the Ram Sefer Flahich and Nazir 4:9 is the Kether Mishnah there. According to some authorities, one who takes a vow to be a Nazirite like Samson is not a Nazirite at all, since Samson himself did not take a vow of Naziriteship, see Judges chapter 13. However, others set norms for a Nazirite like Samson. They permit him to become ritually impure by coming in contact with dead bodies, thereby freeing him from the obligation to bring special Nazirite offerings if he became ritually impure, but they prohibit him from cutting his hair or drinking wine. Such a Nazirite vow is permanent, and some hold that it cannot be dissolved. The Sage had this position that one cannot request to have a Nazirite of this type dissolved. That's from the Rabbeinu Peretz. The commentary on Nazir explains that this is because Samson himself never vowed to be a Nazirite, rather had it imposed upon him by an angel. Therefore, he could not request its dissolution. Consequently, one who vows to be a Nazirite like Samson has no option of dissolution. After 20 days, and from now, I am hereby a Nazirite without specification. What is the halacha? Since here it is not possible to request of a halacha authority to dissolve the vow of Nazirship like Samson, and there is no way of completing the first term of Nazirship, does the first Nazirship take effect or not? The Gemara asks another question. If one said, "I'm hereby like Moses on the 7th day of Adar," what does that mean? Kemoshe b'shiva ba'adar v'chudu. The Keren Ola is puzzled by the placement of this question, which appears unrelated to the previous questions. Rabbeinu Peretz explains simply that this question is in fact unconnected to the other ones, and is mentioned here only as one of a series of unresolved questions. The Meiri claims that this problem is related to the case of Nazirite like Samson. In both situations, one is stating a vow of Nazirite by comparing himself to someone who did not drink wine, but not as a result of a vow of Nazirite. Samson's Nazirite does not come about through a vow, and Moses' refraining from wine was also not the result of a vow. When one links his Nazirite to the behavior of a person who refrains from drinking wine due to illness or a similar reason, the vow does not take effect. The question in the Gemara is whether the halacha applies to the comparison of Moses, or whether the case of one who compares himself to Moses has the same halacha as that of Nazirite like Samson. With regard to what the uncertainty is when he says the 7th of Adar, most commentators talk about the Rosh and Rabbeinu Todros, Rabbeinu Azriel, citing Rabbeinu Tam, explained that it is uncertain whether or not he had Nazirite in mind. On the one hand, since Moses died on the 7th of Adar, it is possible that many Jews decided to be Nazirite as an expression of mourning, since like a mourner, Nazirite may not drink wine or shave. On the other hand, the one in question might have intended to celebrate that day in honor of the birth of Moses, which occurred on the same day, and did not intend to accept upon himself Nazirite by any other prohibition. A commentary on Nazir explained that just as Moses himself did not drink wine from the day of his death onward, this person vows that wine is forbidden to him as well. The Meiri suggests that Moses did not drink wine on the day of his death, as he was presumably not focused on his physical needs on that day. What is halacha? Is this considered an expression of Nazirite in that just as Moses passed away on that date and drank no more wine, so too the speaker vows to be a Nazirite? Alternatively, perhaps this phrase does not indicate the acceptance of Nazirite. The Gemara comments, at least resolve the first of these questions. The one raised at the beginning of the discussion, as it is stated explicitly in the Tosefta 2.5, if one says, "I'm hereby a Nazirite after 20 days, and I'm hereby a Nazirite from now for 100 days, he counts 20 days of his term of Nazirite immediately, after which he counts 30 days for the subsequent term of Nazirite, and afterwards he counts 80 days in order to complete his first term of Nazirite. The Gemara returns to to its discussion of the statement of the Mishnah with regard to one who vowed to be a Nazarite upon the birth of a son, in addition to the standard term of Nazariteship. The Mishnah ruled that he begins his term of Nazariteship, and if he has a son during that term, he pauses from that term of Nazariteship and starts the term for his son, after which he completes the first term. The Torah states that a Nazarite who became impure while observing his term of Nazariteship must start counting afresh, which leads to the following question. What happened if he became impure during the days of his Nazariteship for his son? If one vowed to be a Nazarite upon the birth of his son, and then took a vow of a standard term of Nazariteship beginning immediately, he starts the latter term of Nazariteship at once. If he has a son before completing his term, he observes the term of Nazariteship for his son, and afterward completes his term of Nazariteship. These two terms of Nazariteship are considered a single term, and if he became impure during the term of his Nazariteship for his son, all of the days are negated. This is because the halacha is generally ruled in accordance with Rabbi Yochanan's opinion, in opposition to Reish Lakish. If one became impure during the final days of his own term of Nazariteship, after the term of Nazariteship for his son was completed, he forfeits only the latter days. The Ravid maintains that he also forfeits the first days of his own term of Nazariteship. Sefer 043. Rabbi Yochanan says, this negates all of it. Even the days he has counted for his own term of Nazariteship, he must observe 2 full terms of Nazariteship. Reish Lakish says, this does not negate the days he observed for his own term of Nazariteship, only those of the term of Nazariteship for his son. The Gemara clarifies the 2 approaches. Rabbi Yochanan says it negates all of it, since he holds that it is one long term of Nazariteship. The early commentators explain that as Nazariteship is considered one long term, even though it contains both of his terms and term of Nazariteship, as well as the one for his son, because he does not shave until the conclusion of the entire period. That's explained that Rabbi Yochanan said it is a long-term Nazariteship, and one forfeits the entire period only if he became impure during the days of Nazariteship for his son, in which case he also negates the first period he has observed for his own term of Nazariteship. However, if he became impure during the period in which he completes the term of Nazariteship after the completion of the term of Nazariteship for his son, he does not forfeit the days of the term of his Nazariteship for his son, but only the first days he had counted for his own term of Nazariteship. In contrast, the Rambam rules that if one becomes impure during those last days, not only does he not negate the term of Nazariteship for his son, but even the early days he observed for his own term of Nazariteship remains valid. The Karen O writes that the Rambam here is consistent with his approach, and that one must shave and include the term of Nazariteship for his son, which means the 2 parts of his own term of Nazariteship are linked only by the numbering of days. They are not considered a single unit with regard to negation. Reish Lakish says that it does not negate the days he observed for his own term of Nazariteship, because his term of Nazariteship is a distinct Nazariteship, and that for his son is a discrete Nazariteship. These 2 Amoraim have similar dispute in the case of one who contracted leprosy during his Nazariteship and became impure by coming into contact with corpse during the days of his leprosy. So what's the footnote? Sura'as, leprosy. Traditionally rendered as leprosy, the term sura'as is used in the Torah. Used in the Torah is not necessarily the equivalent of the disease known by that name. The Torah term refers to symptoms that cause severe ritual impurity. The halacha governing these symptoms are articulated at length in Leviticus chapter 13 to 15 and in the Mishnah chapter in the Gan. Leprosy can be contracted on skin, hair, articles, clothing, and houses. When a symptom appears, it is examined by a priest, and only the priest is authorized to determine whether to quarantine the affected person for a certain period or to declare immediately that the symptom is or is not leprosy. Leprosy is one of the primary sources of its impurity, and it is particularly severe in that it imparts ritual impurity to items found in the same enclosure with it, like the impurity imparted by corpses. One afflicted with leprosy in the wilderness was sent out of the Israelite camp, and once Jewish people entered Eretz Yisrael out of his town or city. He must live in solitude until his affliction is cured. A cured leper undergoes certain rites outside the city and a purification ceremony in the temple itself. He is obligated to bring specific offerings as part of his purification. What was the other footnote? A Nazirite with leprosy who later contracts impurity from a corpse forfeits all of his previous days of Nazirite because he is still considered Nazirite despite the impurity of the leprosy. And that's the Rambam Sefer Nazir 7:10. Although the days of his leprosy do not negate the previous days of his Nazirite, they are not counted as part of his Nazirite either. Rabbi Yochanan says, contraction of impurity from a corpse negates the days of Nazirite observed before his leprosy, which means that he must start counting afresh once he's purified of leprosy. Reish Lakish says it does not negate the days he's already observed, and he need observe only the remaining days of Nazirite after his purification. The Gemara clarifies their respective approaches. Rabbi Yochanan says that impurity from a corpse negates the days he's already observed, since he remains in a period of Nazirite even when he is a leper, as his leprosy does not negate his Nazirite. Reish Lakish says that it does not negate the days he observed, since he maintains leprosy is discreet and Nazirite is discreet. One's time as a leper is not considered part of his Nazirite. The Gemara comments, and it is necessary to teach this dispute in both cases. The difference was stated in the first one, with regard to one who became impure during his term of Nazirite for the birth of his son. One might say that it is specifically in that case that Rabbi Yochanan said it also negates the days of his standard Nazirite because there is one label of Nazirite that applies to both vows. But in this case, where the leper became impure from a corpse, one might say that he concedes to Reish Lakish that it does not negate the date of his Nazirite that he is counted, since the Nazirite is discreet and leprosy is discreet. And conversely, if it was stated only in this case, that of the leper who contracted impurity from a corpse, one might say that it is only in this case that Reish Lakish said it does not negate his days of Nazirite. But in that case, when one became impure while observing the term of Nazirite of his son, one might say he concedes Rabbi Yochanan negates the entire period, since they are all days of Nazirite. Therefore, it is necessary for the dispute to be taught both cases. In connection with the dispute between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish, the Gemara discusses the case of a Nazirite who became impure on the day of his hair growth. So what's the footnote? If a Nazirite completes his Nazirite and on the following day, when he may grow his hair, he becomes impure, he does not forfeit any part of his Nazirite even if he has yet to shave. Since his period of Nazirite is over, the halacha is in accordance with Rab, in opposition to Shmuel, in matters of ritual law. The Rambam Sefer Nazir 6:5 in case of Mishnah there. B'yom Gidol Seah, on the day of hair growth. There are different opinions with regard to this case. Most early commentaries explain that the Gemara is referring to a person who shaved his hair during his Nazirite, either against his will or because he contracted leprosy. Although the shaving does not cause him to fulfill his previous days of Nazirite, he is nevertheless required to observe a period of 30 days so that his hair can grow enough for shaving. Rav and Shmuel have a dispute with regard to the halacha of one who became impure during the additional period of hair growth. Rav maintains that Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish would both agree that these days are not counted part of his Nazirite, since he's already counted the requisite number of days. Conversely, Shmuel argues that since these days serve to complete his Nazirite, they are viewed as an integral part of it, because of what Rosh Rabbeinu Perez Rabbeinu Todros. The commentary on Nazir offers an alternate explanation which suggests a similar approach. It states that the Gemara is referring to a Nazirite who became impure and, after becoming impure again, began counting a new full term of Nazirite as required. He then became impure during the period added to his Nazirite due to the first impurity. In this case, Rav and Shmuel disagree over whether these days can be viewed as merely an addition to the previous Nazirite, or whether they are considered part of the Nazirite itself, since the previous days were negated. In contrast to this, some commentators maintain that the phrase "the day of his hair growth" should be understood literally as referring to a particular day. Therefore, the commentary on Nazir's interpretation explains that the case is of one who vowed to be a Nazirite for 100 days, and after 70 days passed, he contracted leprosy. And after 70 days passed, he contracted leprosy, was cured, and then resumed his Nazirite. He shaved on the 100th day, and on the very day that he completed his term, he became a leper again. According to this approach, everyone agrees that he negates the last 30 days, and dispute concerns the states of the first 70. In Sefer Hayasha, Rabbeinu Tam writes that Rav agrees with the opinion that one who became impure on the day of the completion of his term of Nazirite has to repeat only 30 days, and the words "it does not negate" means it does not negate it all. The Meiri states that if one became impure on the day of his offerings, which occurred on the day after the completion of the Nazarship, he forfeits at least 30 days. It is the day after this that is called the day of hair growth, and since this day is not part of his Nazarship, even by rabbinic decree, Rav maintains that it does not negate his term if he became impure on that day. 1 second. Just checking the battery. Right, I've got 10%. It should be able to last me. Let's go. Where was I? The case is that one who contracted leprosy during his Nazarite and then was purified from his condition shaved, as required of him, at this point he must wait another 30 days so that his hair can grow enough for him to shave at the end of his Nazarite. If he became impure during this additional period, Rav said it does not negate the days he previously counted for his Nazarite. The Gemara explains, even according to Rabbi Yochanan, who says that if one became impure during the days of the term of Nazarite for his son, and negates the entire period, the statement applies only where he still remains in a period of Nazarite, but the time of hair growth is in addition to this period of Nazarite and is not considered part of the term itself. And Shmuel said in the earlier days, the Gemara explains, even according to Reish Lakish, who says that becoming impure during the Nazarite for his son does not negate the days of his Nazarite, a standard one for himself and another one for his son, but here it is one Nazarite since the days he observes for the growth of his hair complete his Nazarite. Rav Chisda said, all consider that if the hair was consecrated during the sprinkling of the blood, he has no means of remedy. That is, if the Nazarite completed his term and brought his offerings, and the blood of the offerings was sprinkled, and he then became impure before shaving, he has no way to shave or render wine permitted to himself. It has not been permitted through the offerings he brought because he has become impure. And since he cannot bring other offerings for this purpose, since one may not bring two sets of offerings for the same term of Nazarite, the Gemara asks, in according to the opinion, did Rav Chisda state this halacha? If one says in according to the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer, this cannot be, since Rabbi Eliezer said that shaving is indispensable to completion of Nazarite. The impurity is therefore contracted within the full term of his Nazarite, in which case it would not make sense that he has no remedy, but let it instead negate his days of Nazarite, and he will do them again, after which he will shave. Rather, perhaps Rav Chisda has spoken according to the opinion of the rabbis. Didn't they say that shaving is not indispensable? If a Nazarite has completed his Nazarite and brought his offerings, the fact that he is not yet shaved does not preclude the conclusion of his Nazarite. Rather, he may drink wine and contract impurity from a corpse after nightfall, according to the opinion of the rabbis. Rambam Sefer Fly Hilchon Nazir 8:5 to the completion of Nazarite, which means his impurity occurred when he was no longer a Nazarite. The Gemara answers, actually, Rav Chisda ruled according to the opinion of the rabbis, and what is the meaning of he has no means of remedy? It means he has no means of remedy for the mitzvah of shaving, and he cannot fulfill the mitzvah of shaving impurity as required. Rabbi Yossi, son of Rabbi Chanina, said, a Nazarite whose days of Nazarite are completed, but who has yet to bring his offerings, is flogged for the contracting of impurity. So what's the fun there? Loka al hatuma. Even Rabbi Yossi, son of Rabbi Chanina, agrees that one does not forfeit this period of Nazarite, since he has already counted the requisite number of days Tosfot, if he becomes impure from a corpse. Like any Nazarite, he becomes impure, but he is not flogged for the act of shaving, nor for the drinking of wine. The Gemara asks, what is different with regard to impurity that he is flogged for it? It is as the verse states, all the days that he has consecrated himself unto the Lord, he shall not come near to a dead body, number 6:6. The additional word all comes to include days after the completion of Nazarite, and teaches that all are the days before its completion with regard to the prohibition against contracting impurity from the dead. Therefore, he is liable to receive lashes. The Gemara asks, if so, let him also be liable to receive lashes for shaving. Since the Minister states in the Torah, all the days of his vow of Nazarite, there should be no razor come upon his head, number 6:5. Here too, the word all should render the days after the completion of Nazirship like the days before its completion. And furthermore, with regard to wine as well, the verse states all the days of Nazirship from anything that is made of the grapevine, from the pressed grapes even to the grape stone, he shall not eat. Number 6.4. Once again, the word all should render the days after the completion of Nazirship like the days before its completion with regard to drinking wine. What is the reason for the difference in Allah between contact impurity on the one hand and shaving and drinking wine on the other? That's the end of the daf. I have to leave on that cliffhanger. Wish you all the best. Have a Shema Tov and peace in Israel. Take care. All the best. Bye.